in the US at the moment is just going to cost you twice the amount. So it's really not a great option unless there's a really important reason to do so. Fiji, on the other hand, it's awesome, the rates. Our dollar to theirs, is incredible. So you make it's a really cheap option. Yeah, service standards, facilities. The Sofitel is going to be way better than Mercure. And that's what you get to know, what standard of hotel is going to be better. And I predominantly use hotels because I have a accommodation component. But if there's no accommodation and a client said, we just want to do an awards dinner and we don't have to think about any accommodation for the majority, then it's a lot more interesting and exciting. You've got places like in Brisbane, City Hall, there's some really cool places in the Valley. Just getting to know them once you start researching. Go and have a site inspection. It is really important. The photos on the website is never going to show you what you can see when you get there. Even the space in the pre-function area, you go, this ballroom holds 500 people, but I'll be lucky to fit 150 in the pre-function area. I really like it though, so what do? What you do is, if it's a gala, and you've told your guests that it's 7 to 7:15 sharp, which means they'll start arriving at 10 to 7, having free drinks earlier than the 7 o'clock free drink start time. Once it gets full, you've got enough to do that wow, open the doors. So you don't have to wait till 300 delegates arrive or guests. You wait till that gets full and you let them in. So hopefully by then they would have looked at the floor plan and known where they're seated in the room. So you have on the floor plan you will have a picture of the whole function space, all the tables numbered. This is if they've got allocated seating, and it is often the better way to go. And then there's a list of everyone's name alphabetically. Now I have been to an event where there was 700 people there. Now that's 70 tables. And I had to look through every table. So table 1, that's the 10 people. Table 2, that's the 10 people. Now that's not a good idea unless you do both. You can do, so I can see who else is on my table, that's awesome. But I want to see at a glance Susan Brandy, all the beads, Susan Brandy, table 6. I had a big error with my table plan a couple of years ago when I did a ball for 1,200. And got a photo of it coming up. Huge name place. So it was all in alphabetical, just as I suggested to you. Everyone's alphabetical, then the table number, name, table number, name, table number. The people who have them in the middle, so they're looking at their name, it's Kelly Stevenson, and she's got a table number on the left, but she's actually table number on the right. So I'm inside the venue, because we got a printer to print this. It arrives the afternoon of the event. I get it stuck up outside where it's meant to be, 1,200. I'm inside, right, doors opening, people are coming in, and the event manager for the convention centre is coming up to me going, there's people at table 10 that there's not enough chairs, there's only 8 chairs, and there's 10 of them. And he kept coming up going, oh my God, what is going on? And what we realised was it wasn't a clear definition for people to see, well, was the table on that side or that side? The tiniest little error. Oh my God, how embarrassing. We fixed it because we then got someone to stand there and go, your table's on the left or the right, I can't remember what. Little things like that just make everything go pear-shaped. So you do learn as you go, Trace. Secure your venue. So once you've seen it, you've negotiated. I don't like playing games with my venues, so even if I'm down to 2, I won't play one off against the other. I'll say to my client, I think we should go with this one. How about we try and screw them for a little bit more of something, and it's not necessarily rate, it might be throwing in something extra special, but I want you to give me the okay that if they say yes, we book them. So you can do a bit of negotiation, but you can't, I don't like don't think it's ethical to go, oh, but they're doing that. Oh, they're going to give us this. Now they're going to give us this. They do expect you to negotiate, but I like to say, I think this venue's going to be great. Let's try one more time to get something else. And so if you can give us this, then we'll sign. And then once you sign, they want money. And money is generally based on a percentage of your total spend. So say your accommodation and your day conferencing and your gala dinner is $350,000 in total. They'll want 30% straight up. Now some organisations, mostly franchises, not big corporate groups, they go, we're not giving them 30 grand, it's 10 months before the conference. That's our trust money from, So it is those are the terms and conditions that they're signing for, and that's where I sort of help the process of saying to the venue going, look, can we be a little bit more lenient, maybe have more drawdowns, but the initial deposit can be 10% of the total spend. Or let's take the accommodation portion out of the calculation, because our franchisees are paying for their own accommodation. It's not coming from our head office master account. Is this making sense?
Making good sense, actually.
Once you sign the contract, pay a deposit, the girl that's been looking after you, the lovely girl who's done the site inspections and lunch and she hands it over to the coordinator. As soon as she does that, the better. The coordinator actually knows a little bit more sometimes than the sales exec. The coordinator knows exactly what that room can do for you. So of course the room options, which we touched on earlier and Tracy touched on as well. There's so many different options. Accommodation options. Having a little difficulty with one of my clients at the moment, not my client actually, the venues we're looking for is, again, 200 people. They need 90 twin share rooms. So I think it's a little inhumane you have to share a room. I'm not a fan of it myself, but some organisations, they make you share. So that's a share twin room. Of course, that's a single king. Not many hotels have as many as 90 twin share rooms. It's a lot, and you can look at a hotel, say the Sofitel Brisbane, 296 rooms, they've got 30 twin share rooms. And I'll tell you why, they're a 5-star hotel. People who want twin share generally can't afford 5-star. What we could do is use the Novotel behind them for the twin share, still part of Accor who manage both. And we can have, some there, some here. So it's doable. My client said, no, we're not making them walk, find another venue, which is fine. So it really is important when you're looking at your accommodation, just because they got that many rooms, you're signing a block of rooms. So you've got a conference for 80 people. Do you need 80 rooms or 30 rooms? And you've got to commit to that. You only get 60 days before your event to pull out of a certain amount of rooms, and if you don't, you're paying for them rooms. So come conference, you go, oh sorry, we thought North Queensland were coming, they're not now, so we don't need those other 20 rooms. And they go, too late, you signed the contract. So you best be inviting your friends because you bought those rooms. So they're the things when you're signing contracts, and you've got to keep looking at your opportunities to reduce what you're holding. Rooming list. So they want you to send a rooming list. Joe Brown's coming in 3 days before the conference and staying for 2 days after, because he's management and he's going to do some meetings. So you've got to send a full rooming list to the hotel. Surname, attending name, when they're coming in, when they're coming out. Sometimes some groups will pay for the 2 nights of the conference, but if you want to come and stay before and after, we ask permission from the hotel if we can extend the same rate. Because the rate we get as a group is generally a lot less than if you were to try and check into the hotel as a single person traveller. Or because we've got a group, we get a special good rate. So we can often ask them, can we extend that rate pre and post? in case any of our delegates want to stay for the weekend or what have you. So when our room list comes in, we can say that these 2 nights we're paying for on the master account. The other nights when the guest checks in and hands over their credit card, they're paying for the other 2 nights that they're coming for. Food and beverage, keep them well fed and hydrated. This has really evolved over 17 years that I've been in business, and now we're getting really super healthy, which I enjoy. Also seeing a lot more culinary skills coming in. The hotels have got, you know, Pete and Manu and all these fabulous chefs are starting to design menus for their kitchens. So they're producing a lot higher quality of food, and the dietary requirements is blowing my mind when people say what their dietaries are. And I'm gluten free, so I kind of understand. I do totally understand, and it's really good that the venues are now catering for that. What I have started doing in the last year or so is, you know, even for your gala dinner, and you know, as long as you much enjoy pouring through menus, and I like chocolate, I'm going to choose that chocolate dessert. I've actually gone back to the hotels more times than not and saying, I want chef to choose. I want chef to know, to tell me what our delegates should be eating for the gala, knowing who the demographics is. We've got franchisees from Australia, or this is the theme, can they theme it? So I'm really starting to push it back to the venue going, the day delegate, I don't want to choose the lunch every day. I do know that the morning after our gala dinner, I want a savoury morning tea because we're going to have a few hangovers in the room. We don't want scones with jam and cream. We want sausage rolls, quiches, savoury croissants. So I do know that there's certain elements that I'll change. But the food is obviously a really important component. We always eat much more than what we would in a normal day. So we have our buffet breakfast, then we have our morning tea, then we have our big lunch, then we have our afternoon tea. Then we go drinking between then and the gala dinner, and then we have 3 courses. So we come back from conference and we're fat and happy. So this is me sitting at a sound desk, not knowing what I was doing at all. It was just a pretty picture. But this was a big gala dinner I did for the Coffee Club at the Convention Centre 1200. When you are running your event, if you have planned it well enough and you are calm, that your checklist is sorted, then you will remain calm, and you really then need to rely on your suppliers to do their job. So I check in obviously with my suppliers. A big gala dinner like that, we bumped in on the Thursday for a Friday night dinner. So I was in there Thursday making sure they're on track. Talked to chef, we've got 1,200 meals. How you going, chef? How you going with the dietaries? And just letting them do what they do well. And if I see something that looks like they're not on track or that there's some concern, I don't go wailing my arms and going crazy. It's like a calm conversation. See that this is happening. Can you just tell me how you're going to fix it? And really have that open communication with them. I get a lot more results out of being friendly and calm than I do. And I have had a couple of clients where I've had to pull them away from the situation and tell them to calm down, nearly slap them. And they're just, it's inexperience. They just don't realise that no one else can see what's going on. This is something that back of house we know is happening. So running the event, it's the fun bit. Wear flat shoes. Make your accommodation room, if you're staying in the hotel, the closest to the function room. If they try and upgrade you to the la-di-da room at the top, you're never going to be there to enjoy it. Ask them to give you that in 3 weeks' time. You'll go back with your boyfriend. Yes. But the night when you're there running the show, I swear.
You want to be right there.
The bed sheet's hard to get used. You're down, you're back up again. It's totally true. And you want to be as close as you can to the conference room, because you will leave at 6:30 and the function starts at 6:45. You've got 15 minutes, shower, change. I'm the fastest dresser. Debrief and review is really important. Again, using online registrations can also give you the access to do online feedback. Generally, no feedback is good feedback. But if you do send that out and it says in it, this will take you 3 minutes. And we really appreciate your feedback. And think about the core things you want to ask them. Don't ask them about the food. They'll tell you on the day. Ask them about the content. Ask them about the destination. Ask them about where they want to go next year. Would you come next year? So I thought I'd just show you a couple of the events that I've done recently. This is Coffee Club Ball. Done this event for 4 years running. I'm probably not going to do it this year. It's getting a bit too big for me. It's become also a Channel 9 telethon ball, so with the Children's Hospital. So at the Convention Centre in Brisbane, we've got in one hall the Channel 9 telethon that is live. And in the other hall, I'm coordinating 1,200 people for the gala dinner. Our theme was Journey to Japan. Our theming was $50,000. We built this amazing cherry blossom tree right in the middle of the ballroom. This was them on the Thursday before starting to build the cherry blossom tree.
Who was that, Susan?
Brisbane Convention Centre in Auditorium, Great Hall.
Yeah, I know, but who did the theming?
Style Events, Brendan.
Okay.
And Brendan's done it for 3-4 years I've been doing it.
Right.
We spent $80,000 on lighting and audio visual because we had the side screen. So when people were bidding, now we used an app, if you will, so that people could bid on the silent auction items. This is to make money, and we made $280,000 just at the ball alone. So we used an app that was designed specifically. So normally when you do a silent auction, you have all the auction items down there, a piece of paper, you write your name, I'll pay $50 for this. You sit back down, you get carried away with the evening, you go, oh my God, I didn't get it. You get an app, it texts you, someone's outbid you, go, damn it. But it brings their name up there too, so it says, you know, the gala, well, whatever a good silent auction prize, there's so many of them. Say the gift bag from a hair salon comes up with, you know, Tracy's now the highest bidder, so you can go in and bid. So it's also setting up spaces in the room for all my silent auctions, so you can go up and have a look at them and see if there is something you want to bid on.
If you get too big for that silent auction idea, the way you do it, if you get too big bidding for that one occasion.
Yes, you do.
Like
And the
literally
live
like
auctions.
1 minute, bang, bang, one who's got it, that back to that person.
Yeah, and the live auctions as well, they do that. This event, we were very lucky because of the telethon ball. We had Jessica Malboy, was whatever talent they had at the telethon, we got to have in our ball. Now our run sheet was fully scripted for our MC, fully scripted. So he had a cue monitor side of stage. Everything he said, he read. So it's like a newsreader, I guess. We had to have one guy, cost us $1,000, to sit there and be my scripter because I thought Jessica Malboy was going to perform at 8:15. Turned out she was going to not come on until 9:45. So I had to re-change the scripting. So I was constantly on my comms, communications, not only to my AV tech team at the back of the room, because it's a huge ballroom, I couldn't be running to the back, so I was constantly talking to comms in the telethon. How are we going, Jess? Is she on her way? Not at the moment. 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, how are we going, Jess? No, she's still not coming. So then saying to my technical director, so there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of getting everything look smooth with a guest that just are so oblivious to what's happening. So that was the Coffee Club ball. Another one I did last year is Commonwealth Bank Ball. We chose Shaken Not Stirred as our theme, one that Melissa's done for me in the past. Really fun event.
I recognise the props.
You recognise the props, don't you? And this is at Victoria Park Golf Club.
Yep.
And it was amazing. The guests didn't dress up. The girls and the guys just dressed beautifully in their gala event clothing. And black tie is not a real popular theme anymore in terms of dress code, mainly because a lot of people don't have a black tie. And if it means not getting someone along because they don't have black tie, it's better off to say
Smart casual.
smart, not casual. Dinner suit. So you can wear a tie, shirt and jacket without having to wear the full cummerbund and everything. We had some great entertainment. I had a 3-piece band who did a medley of the Bond stuff, so I'm like, when this started for me, which was like that opening act. And it's just asking the band, like they were just the band. And I said, our theme is this, can you sing anything? Oh yeah, we'll do a little medley. Good, you're opening. Last year I did a fundraising dinner for the Wesley Institute of Research, Wesley Hospital's Research Centre, and that was at City Hall. Absolutely amazing venue. We're very lucky to have the Prime Minister of Australia attend that ball. Now, when Tracy was talking about dignitaries before, working with some dignitaries like him, incredible. We had to have a meeting the day before with the Federal Police at the venue to discuss logistics. So that where's the exit? If shit hits the fan, how are we getting him out of here in a hurry? And they wouldn't tell me whether he's coming in the front or whether he's coming in the back. We just knew he was coming, and we had to completely do the whole venue. He had 5 security in that room. On the day of the event, the dog squad came through. So when we were setting up all the tables and centerpieces and programs, the dog squad came in and went through the whole room. It was quite exciting. And he came, and of course we had the local parliamentary dignitaries as well. But it really was a different, to do an event like that where the Prime Minister comes and just trying to keep people away from approaching him. It was incredible. And the room, of course, looked amazing. What I love about a room like City Hall is they have a lot of lighting already set. And this is what I found a key when you're looking at venues is find a venue that's got a lot of stuff going on already. You get the 4 square walls of a function room, you're going to have to throw a bit of money at it. Whereas you've got a venue like that, I mean, there's a bit of money spent here. When you've got a venue like that, it just looks amazing when you walk in. And if I was to tell you where to spend your money, lighting, not chair covers, sorry, Liz.
I agree.
Chair covers would be the first thing I would lose. Lighting. I did another VIP dinner at a conference on the Gold Coast with Central 21 Real Estate, and they wanted to take, it was 280 people, they wanted to take their top performers away for a VIP night. Top performers didn't know where they were going, they just had to be at the reception. We got them on a bus, we took them to Dreamworld. Dreamworld was lit up, and we walked in, red carpet, and the whole theme park was open, not the rides, that was too much. And we just had one long dinner in the main street of Dreamworld for them. And we had some aerobatics. Their theme for the conference was SOAR. There was an eagle, was their logo. So we did a lot of, so we did the aerobatics. But it was a lovely dinner. We finished at 10:30, had them back in the bar, the hotel by 11, so to join everybody else who weren't invited to tell them how amazing it was, so that next year, hopefully, every other delegate would strive to be in that elite 100. Oh gosh, I'm finished. Any questions?
Come on, guys, questions. There's a chance.
Well, everything you say is already there. So we don't
That's
have any
true.
questions.
There was something I mentioned to Melissa that I wanted to say is in terms of in your own business, it is seasonal. I've been doing it for 17 years and I've lived solely and wholly off my event management business. But because there's generally not a lot of conferencing in January, February, March, I'm living off the money that I made in August, September, October. So you're planning your budget cash flow. So even if you make a lot of money, you've got to be careful to manage it to get you through, because then you've still got to market, you've still got to travel. I'm going to an industry conference on the weekend in Melbourne. There is 4,000 delegates, 500 exhibitors, and it's like speed dating. So 2 days of conferencing. There's a couple of information sessions to upskill event managers on what's happening in the industry. But predominantly, it's I've got a schedule of appointments, and there's like a bell that rings. So it says, right, you're on stand 253, you're meeting with the Pullman Cairns at 10:05, and the bell rings. And so all these, I'm a buyer, is what they call me, and then the exhibitors. And I have to be scanned to make sure I go to every appointment, and I ask the Pullman Cairns, so what's happening? Update me on your ballroom space, how many rooms do you have? How far are you from the airport? And then I say, look, I had a conference there 3 years ago, I know it. So it's a bit like, speed dating. What have you got? Now you tell me what you've got. Got 2 full days, it's full on, again, flat shoes is a must. But it's a real, it's a one time a year I get to upskill and educate myself on destination. I go to Fiji and find out what's happening in Fiji, what's happening in Vegas, what's happening in Macau. So the perks that I get, like I'm in Fiji in 3 weeks' time, just to have a look at what's happening there. So it's a lot of hard work though, don't get me wrong, as much as it is fun, it's still a lot of hard work. Yeah.
Questions, guys?
No more questions. Questions?
So why is it so you were saying it's seasonal, right? Isn't it, is that because certain conferences or anything, wouldn't it be more than just seasonal because you have different things at different stages?
Yeah, and I don't do public events as such, although Coffee Club Brawl kind of was. Most conferencing happens anywhere between May, October. That's your conference season. November, December, I do Christmas parties.
Yeah, that's what I was
A
thinking.
lot of Christmas parties people aren't doing Christmas parties much anymore.
Is that because of the prices?
No, well, 2 things. I think one, they don't want to be perceived to be spending money on a piss up. It's true. And 2, they can't get people to come. I did an event for ACOM, I don't know if you've heard of them, 1,000 people. We got 600. And it's free. Food, beverage, 5 hours at Cloudland in the Valley. Now, what's to say no to? People go, we want to go home. We've been working long hours. We want to see our family. We don't want to hang around with people we work with. Hello? They don't want to hang around with people they work with. So, in January, everyone's on holidays. No one does anything. I do a few small executive style retreats throughout the year, but they're spasmodic as well. Execs can't be seen to be, particularly if they're a publicly listed company, because the journos are always onto them. Oh, to see the execs go and spend 4 days drinking fine wine at a great venue. So that really, even if they've got the money to spend, it's even within their own organisation, there's like, oh, the bloody bosses are off and bloody la-di-da, we didn't get a Christmas party. So all that now is becoming way more important. So that's kind of how it's seasonal.
What's been one of your more challenging speakers?
Speakers, challenging speakers.
Or are they usually pretty good?
I deal with a lot of speakers. Or entertainment.
Who's been
Yeah,
the most
okay,
interesting-
entertainment.
Who's been
Most
the
interesting speaker,
speaker?
hands down, Wayne Bennett.
That would have to.
Really?
Mate, that guy is brilliant. He
Yeah.
doesn't talk very much. I don't know how you would have got him to talk even.
I had a big dinner for McDonald's, and it was 400 guys at a luncheon, pissy luncheon, and we had Wayne Bennett and Lee Matthews. Now Lee Matthews is a pretty good speaker.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Lee Matthews spoke first and was flamboyant and da-da-da-da-da. Because it was a busy lunch, no one was listening. What is wrong with you people? Have some respect. There's someone up there speaking. Wayne Bennett comes up, takes one step
And
up.
everyone would listen.
Could have heard a pin drop. He's not animated, he doesn't do anything, speaks monotone, but every word he says is just, everyone wants to listen. So it's not all about what I do, theatrics. It's about yeah. So here's probably the most. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you found, say contingency problems, where you've been there and sort of go, oh my God, what do we do now? What sort of things have you come across that have been really
Well, one was that
adrenaline
rooming,
rush-
that floor plan.
adrenaline rush kind of thing?
There's always, every event has something. There's
Yeah.
not any event without a flaw, ever.
What about the food side of things? Now, have you had a problem with the food?
Never
It's
had.
Like it was supposed to be out at this time and it didn't come out, say, for another half hour.
Happens all the time. Mostly that's the client's fault because they say they're going to break at 10:30. They're a bit like me. I'm finishing early. I was supposed to go to 12.